Mike Tyson.
There's a man that could beat Mike Tyson, it's Jose Ribalta. There's going to be a lot of people surprised down in Miami when he knocks him out. When Mike Tyson hurts a guy, he puts him to sleep. If he tags Jose, I hope he don't think Jose's going to lay down. He just better be ready to take another shot. I'm not going to take no credit away from him, but to this day, he hasn't faced anybody that can punch like Jose.
The sensational Mike Tyson. To most, he seems unstoppable, but the confidence of the Jose Ribalta camp is unshakable.
You just better look out, because I'm ready. I'm coming to take it. I'm coming to take him out.
All of us doing our job 100%, the result is a foregone conclusion. There's no way we could fail. We must succeed.
Tonight, from Atlantic City, watch Mike Tyson as he tries for knockout number 24, and a very game Jose Ribalta as he attempts to beat the odds and hand Mike Tyson his first professional loss. We're live from Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City for heavyweight boxing, where just above the boardwalk, the knockout sensation Mike Tyson takes on heavyweight hopeful Jose Ribalta in a fight scheduled for 10 rounds. There's a breeze blowing on the Atlantic. In fact, it's a full-fledged hurricane. But the crowd here inside the Trump is heating up in anticipation of tonight's bout. They want to see knockout number 24. And so does Mike Tyson. Hello, everybody. I'm Barry Tompkins, along with Sugar Ray Leonard and Larry Merchant. You know, when we prepare for a fight like this, you always try to find a way for the underdog to possibly win it, just so you can be objective. Well, I looked at Jose Ribalta's chances today. I found no chance. With all the ifs and whats and whys I could put together, I still found no way, Ray Leonard, that this man could win the fight. It doesn't seem to be a question of if, it just seems to be a question of when. But what about Mike Tyson? Is there a tendency to perhaps overlook a guy like Ribalta?
Well, you know, Barry, unfortunately, it's happened in the past, and it can happen tonight. But for Mike Tyson, I think that's such a remote possibility because of his attitude. And the reason I say that, because he's a man with a mission to become champion. He's serious about his career. He's serious about becoming champion. So I doubt very seriously if that becomes a factor here.
Larry Merchant, you've been around this game for a long time. What legitimate chance does Jose Ribalta have?
Well, I guess you could say he has about the same chance as an open hand against a balled fist. Basically, there are two legal ways to fight Mike Tyson. One is to try to nail him with something hard on the way in and get his attention. Nothing in Ribalta's record indicates he could really do that. Secondly, fight him a knuckleball kind of a fight, darting, diving, ducking, trying to frustrate him. Maybe Ribalta could do that, but it's still an open hand against a balled fist.
Well, the fact remains, the press and the public alike continuing to sing the praises of this man, Mike Tyson. They think the next great champion. All the while, Tyson puts one segment of the public on the unemployment rolls. You say your job's got you down. Tired of doing the same old things day in and day out? Well, try something new and different.
Hey, Dion, time to go to work.
Okay.
Hi-ho, it's home from work we go.
If you've got a good head on your shoulders and like something that keeps you on the move, this could be just the ticket. Here's what our present employees have to say about the unique opportunity that awaits.
Hi-ho, hi-ho.
Believe it or not, as ludicrous as it may sound, I might have done it for nothing.
You get top pay, travel, you get to see the country, and you get treated well. There's a lot of advantages here.
Sound too good to be true? Well, there is one slight drawback. The job is sparring partner for Mike Tyson. If most fighters can't last more than one round with Tyson, why would you want to box with him every day?
It's like a fight. You rib yourself up. You get yourself geared up to actually face this guy every day. And you look to try to hurt him because he's trying to hurt you.
You must do nothing but concentrate on nothing but Mike Tyson for 3 minutes. And before you get in the ring, you have to really prime yourself up for that. If you don't, then that could create problems for you.
In a sense, this is not really a sparring session, but a fighting session.
I always make it a point to say, look, I want you to go out there, and I want you to do the best you can do. I want you to go out there, I don't want you to hold them back. This isn't a sparring match. I tell them, my guy's here to fight, my guy's gonna go hard.
And they're called sparring partners. Not so? Perhaps a fighting partner would be more appropriate.
I train the way I fight. If someone comes to box with me and they're not serious, I think they're making a very foolish mistake. I think the best profit of it is when you have a sparring partner in there that's not intimidated and is throwing punches and trying his best to get the edge and win. Like it's a fight, trying to knock you out.
But thus far, no partner has stayed around long enough to even come close to knocking Tyson down. Most major camps pay sparring partners up to $500 a week for approximately 15 rounds of sparring. Yet in the past year, the young Tyson has had over 24 employees come and go. A folder has been kept which lists past and potential Tyson fighting partners. While some didn't last too long, there have been others who simply wanted no part of Mr. Tyson.
I've had guys walk right out. I had one guy walk right out. That was it, boom, boom. He didn't even work to get paid. Some of them say, well, this ain't for me. And they go. Or they don't come back, you know. They say, I'll call you, and they never call. We call them, and they got to work, they got a job, they got this, or they got that.
When your fights have been as brief as Tyson's, good fighting partners and sparring sessions are a necessity. Therefore, Mike has occasionally worked with well-known fighters. The list is long. Tyrell Biggs, James Broad, Frank Bruno, Carlos De Leon, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, and Carl the Truth Williams. But in every case, the relationship between Tyson and his partners is generally confined to the gym.
We're friends to a certain extent. If there's a possibility I might fight them, I respect them always, but you know, sometimes this is a business, and sometimes you wind up fighting your sparring partners.
So, if you want a job with the Tyson Company, keep one thing in mind before showing up for work.
You don't get anything without working for it, and sweating for it, and sometimes bleeding for it.
Well, he fancies himself a gladiator, and gladiators, of course, didn't wear headgear, even to spar. Tonight, Chapter 26 of the Mike Tyson saga. Jose Ribalta is the next to think Mike Tyson ain't so tough. The last guy to think that lasted 30 seconds. Now, with more on the man and the myth, here's Larry Merchant. Larry?
Since we aired Mike Tyson's fight with Mitch Green last spring, his second straight decision victory, there's been a small wave of healthy skepticism aimed at Tyson. Healthy, but in all likelihood, very misguided. The reason it's healthy is that Mike Tyson, after all, hasn't beaten any top opponents. His vaunted punch hasn't been tested against the best in the heavyweight division. And healthy also as a response to some of the media hysteria already tabbing this 20-year-old tyro as a certain future great. All of that still has to be proved. At the same time, a response to Mike Tyson that indicates that maybe he doesn't have the talent is a little bit contrary, I think. He's not yet a polished fighter, and maybe never will be a fully polished fighter, but boy, he's a good one. And sometimes youth outruns and outguns its mistake. Who, after all, cares if Boris Becker has to work a little bit on his ground strokes, or if a good fastball pitcher has to work a little bit on his pickoff move? Tonight, we're going to take a look right now at the man who has to face Mike Tyson's 150-mile-an-hour serve and 100-mile fastball. That awesome pressure. Let's see him.
The island of Cuba recently marked the 27th anniversary of Fidel Castro and his communist regime. Among the many changes that came with Castro's communism was the elimination of all professional sports. In boxing, the last world champion was Kid Gavilan. Heroes like Teofilo Stevenson would remain amateurs. Jose Ribalta's family fled their Cuban homeland, and now this little-known heavyweight gets his chance to make a big splash.
Mike Tyson, here I come. Here I come. You better be ready. You better be ready.
I'm getting a lot of media attention, and everybody around the neighborhood really just encouraged me for this fight and telling me that I could beat him, which I know I could beat him too. And I've been training real hard for this fight.
But who is Jose Ribalta? Well, his amateur career began about 10 years after his family left Cuba.
I met Jose at Moore Park. He was a big kid, about 12 years old, and me and him used to cut up a lot together, and we got to like each other. There was a group of guys that used to hang around together, and I used to have a lot of fun with them. So I started teaching Jose how to box, working on a heavy bag, and he went in the Golden Gloves. He won the Golden Gloves, and then he went to the Nationals. He won 4 fights in the Nationals. He went to the finals, and I was pretty proud of him at the time.
But the #2 amateur in the world decided not to wait around and compete in the 1984 Olympics. In an effort to help raise money for his family, Jose Ribalta turned pro in 1982. 3 years later, he faced top-ranked heavyweight James Bone Crusher Smith. Jose, with a record of 16 wins, 1 loss, and a draw, faced his first real test. In round 1, the man who gave Larry Holmes a tough time gave Ribalta a furious flurry that sent him to the canvas. But Jose took it in stride.
The only reason Bone Crusher knocked me down really in the first round because like my manager been saying, Louis de Cuba, been telling me that, Jose, you have to get a good sweat before you go in the ring, and that's one thing I didn't do in the Bone Crusher fight.
After round 1, Jose warmed up and took the best punches thrown by Bone Crusher, then threw a bevy of his own. By the end of 10 rounds, Jose and the crowd felt he'd turned the fight around, but the judges didn't. The decision was just as devastating as the first round knockdown.
Split decision. James Bone Crusher Smith.
I had a little bit of tears in my eyes because I feel so bad, really, because that's something that you work so hard for, all your life, and then, you get a time of opportunity like this, right, and all of a sudden, some judge, just boom, just don't want to give it to you. Just takes in a way, like, almost takes your dream away, something you worked so hard for.
I expect you to obey my commands.
4 months later, Jose was back in the ring, only to suffer yet another damaging loss, this time at the hands of Marvis Frazier. Although in his own mind, Ribalta feels this loss was the result of the impact of personal and managerial problems, he realizes that many question his ability to fight the man who put Frazier away in less than a minute. His response is quite simple and quite confident.
The only thing they're going to say is, oh, what is this? How can this guy lose to Frazier and come back and beat Tyson, and Tyson knock Frazier out? That's what they're going to be trying to solve, right? Yeah.
Over the last 6 months, it does seem that Jose might have solved his managerial problems. The addition of Luis de Cubas may prove to have the answer to Jose's future.
What Jose wasn't doing in the past was something very simple. He wasn't getting 30 minutes before the fight. He wasn't getting, I feel, ready. Not mentally, but he wasn't warmed up before the fight. We're going to be doing a lot of different things now. We did it for the Rich Keller fight here in Miami. We got him so warmed up that when he came to the first round, it's like he had fought 4 rounds. His eyes were right, his timing was right, his reflexes were right, and what hit Rich Keller was a bomb. That's all. Put him to sleep.
So far from the prying eyes and the glitz and glamour of the television cameras, Jose Ribalta has quietly gotten back to work. He's added 4 straight knockouts to his record, and all came within the first 5 rounds. In the eyes of his camp, Ribalta is now getting the fundamentals that he had lacked in the past. His camp feels ready. They feel the man is ready for Mike Tyson and ready for Jose's first televised fight in almost a year. This, they feel, is the big opportunity for Jose Ribalta, the boxer, and for a community that continues to seek its heroes.
I think the Latin community down here in Miami, I think it's looking for a star right now. You know, they got the Jose Canseco of the Oakland A's, which the Cuban people really took over. That's all they talk about in 8th Street's about Jose Canseco. Now, you know, they talk about some fighters in the city, but I feel that if Jose Ribalta could beat Mike Tyson the way I know he's going to beat him, he's going to become a star across the country, not only across the country in Miami. I think that's what the Cuban people are looking for.
So all that's left for Jose Ribalta to do is, as the song says, go and get it. When you're facing Mike Tyson, however, that's probably a lot easier said than done. One thing is certain, the Ribalta family has provided the support and nurturing that Jose feels he must have. During training camp, he dropped 11 pounds, so he immediately picked himself up, packed his bags, and headed straight home to Mom.
I just miss that home cooking and that family warmth, really, that I miss. I just feel really, it's just time for a Cuban champion, and really somebody, you know, to speak up for the Cubans now, really. That's why I'm, you know, boxing too. I'm doing it for Cuban people, and especially for me. That's what I'm doing it for, really. And, you know, I'm gonna fight Tyson. I'm just gonna go out there and give it my best, you know.
Well, Mom must have whipped up a low-cal diet, because Jose Ribalta came in at 211 pounds. He told us the expected rate to come in at 219. It could be the humidity. It's been very, very hot here.
Well, it's been very, very hot. In fact, I saw his fight with Frazier, and he's asked for problems because Tyson comes in, tenacious style, stays in your chest, and throws a lot harder punches than Marvis Frazier.
Well, here is Jose Ribalta's moment in the sun. He's won his last 4 fights, all by knockout, but he was knocked down in one of them by David Jaco, who incidentally Mike Tyson KO'd in 1 round. It does appear that Ribalta is warmed up. He's had problems in the early rounds, and of course against Mike Tyson, that's suicide.
Well, he has to be warmed up against Mike Tyson. Tyson quite naturally goes directly at his opponent. He goes to war.
We asked him about Mike Tyson, what he thinks of him. He said he's just another fella. He's not as good as Bone Crusher Smith. He said he's just got the media behind him.
There's an interesting look here. I see that Jose Ribalta does not have socks on, and that's the style of Mike Tyson.
That is the trademark of Mike Tyson. Black shoes, no socks, black trunks.
The difference is that while Tyson is sockless from his knees down, he's not sockless from his elbows out. The one thing that this young man does have going for him is that he comes from a fighting background. 2 brothers who were fighters, one of whom fought Teofilo Stevenson in Cuba 3 times. He himself started very young, was a top amateur. And I mention this because it's going to take somebody who can maintain his poise in the eye of that hurricane that Tyson creates to be able to fight at all. If you freeze, forget it, it's over. You've got to be able to maintain your poise before anything else.
Well, you have the feeling we will find out in a very, very big hurry. You are looking at the face of a man with a very big hill to climb. His opponent, meanwhile, is a throwback, an amateur historian who envisions himself in the ring against Jack Dempsey and Joe Louis and Rocky Marciano. Mike Tyson's roots are in the past, it seems. Even to his taste in music. Nothing blaring, no heavy metal, just Sam Cooke. Out of the 50s and 60s and into the 80s, courtesy of Mike Tyson, who feels Sam Cooke motivates him. Send me is the music here, and of course that's exactly what he hopes to do to Jose Ribalta, who now plays the waiting game in the ring, waiting for Mike Tyson. And I've never seen a guy. Ray and Larry and I sat in Mike Tyson's room last night for probably about an hour talking to the guy. He's calm, he's mild-mannered, he's laughing and giggling with him. But I'll tell you, when it comes to do business, as he comes into color from the past to the present, and Mike Tyson does business.
Yeah, and I can't help but be reminded, listening to that music, that when Muhammad Ali pulled off one of the staggering upsets of boxing history and he beat Sonny Liston in Miami, where this young man comes from, the challenger tonight, the opponent, as it were, The first thing Ollie did was rush to the ring and start yelling, "Sam, Sam, did I shock the world?" And it was Sam Cooke.
Sam Cooke would roll over in his grave.
That Mike Tyson makes in the ring is, I'm not here to look good, I'm here to be good.
And Jose Ribalta just looked at him like, as if to say, oh my. There's the record of Mike Tyson. Impressive. You know, George Benton, who was in Marvis Frazier's corner before that fight, said the way to beat Mike Tyson is to throw a lot of punches, to keep busy, to keep boxing. But when we talked to Tyson last night, he said, and he said it very simply, very understated like he does, at some point you got to stop throwing punches. So Mike Tyson, taught, of course, by Customato. His story has been told ad nauseum, I think. Came out of the Tyson School for Boys, one of the most incorrigible places to be. Learned 4 years of reading skills in the space of 6 months. He's very, very dedicated. Here's a look at the tail of the tape, and of course the only number that jumps out at you is the number on reach. But it was Angelo Dundee who said, don't give me height and reach, give me a guy who can fight.
Yeah, I think the only thing that's overstated about Tyson is his height, which is, I think, closer to 5'9" than 5'11 3/4.
It is true there's a lot of hype about the man, but despite the fact of all the hype, he seems to be able to live up to the clippings, Larry.
And here's our punch stat, our statistical toy to give you a quantitative look at the fight. Interesting thing about Tyson is he throws those 45 punches around, and they're all mean, hard punches. None of those probing little jabs. Ribalta's numbers are so different because the two fighters he fought had such different styles, and so what he does will obviously be dictated by what Tyson does. There are the body punches that Tyson has thrown. As you see, Quick Tillis, who did fight him like a knuckleball, was able to stay away from him. Jose Ribalta, there you see the numbers of jabs he threw in his two fights with recognizable opponents.
Let us then take a look at the rules here in New Jersey. The scoring is by rounds. The 3 knockdown rule will be in effect, much to the chagrin, I'm sure, of Jose Ribalta. There is a mandatory standing 8 count. You can only be saved for the bell in the final round, and the ring doctor can, in fact, stop the fight. So those are the New Jersey rules. Let's get to the ring announcer, Marvin Goldberg, now for the introduction of the fighters.
Tonight's boxing program is presented by Trump Plaza Casino in association with Frank Gell Promotions and sanctioned by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board, Chairman Jerry Gormley and Commissioner Larry Hazard. The judges are John Stewart, Rich Strange, and Phil Newman. Timekeeper Roosevelt Gilbert, ring physicians Frank Doggett, Paul Williams, and Charles Wilson. Counting for the knockdown, Frank Papacino, and the referee for this 10-round bout, Rudy Battle. In the red corner, from Miami Beach, Florida, with a record of 23 and 3/16 by knockout, wearing white straps with a red trim, weighing 211.5 pounds, Jose Nino Ribalta. And in the blue corner, undefeated in 25 bouts, 23 by knockout, from the Catskills, New York, wearing black trunks, weighing 213.5, Mike Tyson. 10 rounds.
When I tell you to break, I want you both to stop punching and step back, protecting yourselves at all times. Remember, a foul can cost you the round. Mandatory 8 count is in effect. Watch your low blows and watch the holding and hitting. Any questions here? All right, I want a clean contest. Good luck to both of you. Let's shake hands.
Okay, don't anybody go to the toilet or the refrigerator. Mike Tyson has short working hours. He punches in and punches out.
And the Battle of Stairs was a draw. Now what happens remains to be seen. Pat Putnam of Sports Illustrated probably put it best. Tyson has the anticipation of a Doberman who's happened upon 210 pounds of unguarded meat.
Just as expected, Tyson is right in the chest of Ribalta. Ribalta has problems with Marvis Frazier. Couldn't keep him off. And what he's going to have to do against the style of a Mike Tyson is to tie him up when he's inside, not to try to exchange punch for punch. He can't do that.
And that was a right hand by Tyson that at least got the attention of Ribalta.
You notice the way that Tyson's working the body. Stays very close to his opponent. I've been impressed with the way that Tyson has developed as a fighter.
A left hand knocks Ribalta off balance.
What it's going to take to beat a Mike Tyson, Barry, is you have to have a good jab, mobility, you have to throw combinations, you have to have it all. And a lot of heart.
Well, he said the only film he watched was that of the quick Tillis fight, and he hopes to emulate what Tillis did. Of course, when we talked to Tyson, he said, I don't mean to take anything away from Tillis, but if I were to fight him again tomorrow, I'd knock him out in one round.
That was a pretty good move by Ribalta. He was able to tie up Mike Tyson. Cases like this, you notice he's tying him up, not giving Tyson any punching room. And he has to keep those hands very high. Ribalta has to keep those hands up at all times.
Big right hand again, but Ribalta stays right there, holds on. Took a pretty good shot that time.
You notice that Tyson also is starting to wing his punch, especially to the body. I think with the height advantage, he has to go downstairs first. Stay downstairs and bring those hands down of Ribalta. Because those punches that Tyson throws is going to take a great deal of wearing down on a tall man like Ribalta. Tyson throws some vicious shots to the body.
Let him go. Get off the back of his head. Keep cleaning it.
Again, just tremendous body shots, and what an uppercut. But Ribalta does not appear to be hurt by it.
All right, great going. Nice and clean.
That uppercut stood Ribalta straight up.
All right, great. Let him move. Watch your head. Step back. Nice and clean.
Well, this fight already is guaranteed to go longer than 15 of Tyson's first 25 fights. Impressive thing about Ribalta there was he did maintain his poise.
You got to bang away right inside. You got to stick like this. When you get close, he just wants to grab. You got to keep your defense tight. Bring him up. You understand? Use a good hard shot, a real hard shot. You win in the fight easy. You understand? But you're a little lazy. It looks like you're a little lazy. Turn the intensity up. You understand? Yeah. Use the jab hard jab. You can beat this guy with a jab alone. But whenever you get inside, you don't need to fight. Keep your hands and punch. Rip him up. Rip him up to the body. Rip his body up. You understand? You just miss him with the truth.
Te lo juro que se va a ver. Couple of jabs up. Go across here. Listen to me. William, come on. ¿Estás bien? Oh, tranquilo. Okay. Couple of jab up. Go across here. You're throwing too high, man. Let's go. Haga su boxeo. Okay?
Somebody in Ribalta's corner does have confidence. I understand they made a significant bet before the fight, taking 7-to-1 odds.
They didn't get enough. Kevin Rooney in Tyson's corner saying, keep the jab down. Luis de Cuba, Ribalta's trainer, said his man is tough after the first round, so now we'll see.
You notice that the uppercut that Ribalta threw, those are the type of punches that are effective against a guy like Tyson. But you got to time it. At all times, attempting to throw that kind of shot is dangerous because one thing about Tyson, he has speed, puts a lot of velocity behind his punches, a great deal of power.
Ribalta being somewhat effective with the jab.
There's the uppercut again. And once again, Barry, you notice he's tying this man up, not allowing Mike Tyson to work his body.
I break your referee, you hold up, you hold up. That's it, nice and clean. I break, hold up, watch your head, nice and clean.
Well, it's an interesting technique, Ray, because he's not running like Green did or staying away like Tillis did. He's fighting a little bit of a different tactic.
Well, Ribalta stated that he needs to try to make, or he wants rather, to make Tyson respect him. I see a mistake that Ribalta is making. He's throwing his jab, and at times it lands, but you notice the way that it comes back. It comes back slow, and it drops. So a counter right hand by Mike Tyson is inviting.
And there was an uppercut. What a shot.
You don't see that happen. A guy gets knocked down with an uppercut. Very seldom. It's a rarity.
And literally took him off the ground. It really did. Ribalta trying to bang with Tyson and gets off the ropes.
Ribalta's in tremendous shape to get out from that punch. Watch the right hand, Barry. It is so inviting.
Turn him loose, let him go.
Tyson's body punches are absolutely devastating. There's a good left to the chin.
Here I am.
What's clear from that round is that Ribalta is a professional fighter. He's a survivor, took a very good punch, got up, knew how to survive the round, punched back when he was in trouble.
Take a deep breath, deep breath.
There's the punch, terrific uppercut. The reason, or one of the reasons that Tyson has such punching power is that he always stays in punching range of his opponent. He's on top of him, so that those kinds of punches will frequently hit an opponent without the opponent seeing the punch, and those are the punches that do the most damage. There it is. Never saw it coming. Stunned him, but he got up and he went on, to his credit. The issue now is to watch how Michael Tyson is going to try to chop down a fellow who is a good professional journeyman.
This is the third round, and you wouldn't have found a lot of smart money saying that it would go this far.
Nice and clean.
You watch the way that Mike Tyson works that body. It's a thing of beauty. Very short executed shots to the midsection, to the ribs.
When you sit ringside, Tyson's punches even sound differently than his opponents. His body shots are so hard, there's a distinctly different sound to them.
The reason being, Barry, is because he pronates that fist, that glove, and he's punching very, very clean, very clean.
We'll just sit back and let you listen a little bit. See if you can tell the difference in the sound of Tyson's punches.
Are you wrestling? Bring him loose. Nice and clean. It's great. You're holding. back. Nice and clean. No. Watch your head. No. All right, break your hand. Bend them both of them. Let's go. Keep it up.
Three good examples right there, and any uppercut behind it.
All right, hold up. You wrestlers. Let him loose. Let him go. Step back. Nice and clean. Step back.
Long left hand.
No. All right, break your side up. Let him go. Step back. All right, break. You're holding and hitting. Step back. Let him go. Nice and clean. All right, break. Hold up, Mike. Hold up. Let him go. You're holding. Turn him in. Hold him.
Tyson looked at Ribalta at the end of that round as if to say, what are you still doing here?
Get on your toes and start moving, Jose.
Game plan's on now, baby.
Start falling.
I'll give me them.
Don't be going into the road.
Let my glove.
They've been telling Ribalta in his corner to try to stay in the middle of the ring, and he did stay off the ropes more in that round. Take a look at some of these body shots. I wonder if there's more than 10 or 15 people on the planet who could live through those shots. And that, of course, is the excitement that Tyson creates, that all of us watching these who are not professional heavyweights certainly know that our chances of survival in a confined space with this man are slim and none in slim left town.
Fourth round, getting into the category of who to thunk it.
No holding. All right, break. You're holding in here. Step back. Nice and clean.
We will remind you that Harold Letterman, our official, unofficial judge here on HBO, is scoring the fight for us. And I'm not even sure he brought a pencil.
One thing about Ribalta, he is not intimidated. In fact, the last round, Ribalta's corner told him, say, hey, game plan is starting to work now. Either they want Tyson to punch himself out, which is not going to happen, or they want him to get careless.
Are you holding in?
And Ribalta's body's I tell you, it's in fabulous shape because he's taking some devastating shots from Tyson.
Well, he has been more effective in the later rounds, so I'm sure that's the thinking of his corner, is if he gets by 4 or 5, he will get stronger. He got stronger against Bone Crusher Smith after being knocked out in the first round. Lost a split decision that most everyone feels he won.
No. Are you tied up? Here I am. Let him go. Wait, stop punching me.
Tyson's always in your chest. Stays very close to his opponents. Ribalta's been trying to throw some straight right hands, but it's not going to work. The type of punch is going to work on Mike Tyson is the uppercuts. You got to bring them under because Tyson has that bob and weaving style.
Ribalta got himself in trouble on the ropes again.
All right, let him go. You wrestle. Watch your head. Watch your head in there. Turn him loose. Stop hold. All right. You wrestle. Turn him loose. Nice and clean.
Tyson just turned southpaw.
Both those punches were caught on the gloves of Ribalta, incidentally. Although I would think Tyson could even hurt you on the gloves.
Stop hold. Are you tied up? stop punch. Both of them. Let him go. Stop holding.
Lunging left hand by Tyson. The right hand was a little short.
Here I am. Stop punching. Get off him. Let him go.
Little right hand partially caught on the gloves.
Keep the punching going.
I think we're getting to that point where the catch-22 that Tyson has created has come into focus. I'll talk about that in a moment after Harold. You tell us how you scored this fight.
Well, Larry, I've got the first 4 rounds for Mike Tyson. Based on the 4 points in which we scored, a clean punching. Mike is all over him, landing the clean hard shots, the effective aggressiveness, the ring generalship. He takes him up on the ropes. Interestingly enough, for defense, Jose Ribalta seems to be holding. That's his basic defense. You know, he's just trying to tire Mike out by holding him.
It's a survival tactic. But getting back to what I was saying before, this catch-22, if he knocks this fellow out in a round or 2, everybody says he just knocked out another bum. When's he going to fight somebody? And if the fight goes longer, everybody says, well, maybe he's not quite that good. But he is in there with a professional. He is dominating the fight. And again, the point right now is to see whether Tyson can sustain his fury and cut this big man down.
And I think when you look at the fights that Tyson has taken to a decision, save the Tillis fight, he pitched a virtual shutout against Green. And according to Harold Letterman, he's pitching one here. He lost 1 round against Mitch Green.
Just for your information, Ray, his corner told Ribalta between rounds, okay, now you can start to dominate the fight.
I think that's long overdue, Larry. In fact, Ribalta's been giving away rounds, especially inside. You notice that Tyson throws a great deal of body shots. Starting to slow down Ribalta.
That was an uppercut by Ribalta, and Tyson right back with 2 shots to the body. Ribalta getting off the quicker punches there.
When those guys stand toe-to-toe like they just a second ago and exchange punches, I have a funny feeling, a funny suspicion that Tyson's punch is going to get there first. You notice when Ribalta throws his uppercut, his chin is wide open. He is so susceptible to the right hand.
Here I am. Watch your head. Step back. Stop holding. Let him go. Step back.
You notice how he throws his punches, Barry. He drops the other hand.
Ribalta seems to have lost maybe a half step here. You know, and again, Ray, the thing about Tyson is he just never seems to let his opponent catch his breath.
Well, he never lets up. He keeps that momentum. He's like a train, locomotive.
Right hand by Ribalta. But he pays the price for every right hand he throws. Is it just me, Ray? Ribalta's legs he seems to be a little more stiff-legged. He doesn't seem to have much bounce.
But he wasn't just trying to survive in that round. He was trying to land something. He's trying to fight. And I give him credit for that.
More than 1 punch.
Michael, you're not throwing no attention. What's happening? You're not talking. You win the fight either. You're sticking the joint out. You're sticking the joint out. Get in there and throw some combination.
on the day to get this guy out of here. Or you can find him not throwing a punch with any family punches. There's no bad intention. There's one punch at a time. Only one punch at a time.
You're getting water?
Hey, Ref, what's the hold?
What Kevin Rooney just said to Mike Tyson was, Mike, you're sticking the joint out, you're throwing one punch at a time, and you're not throwing them with enough bad intentions. Bad intentions mean intentions, an old saying of Customato. Let's see if Tyson can step it up here.
You know what's frustrating to Mike Tyson is the clinching, the tying up that Ribalta has been doing from the very first round. It's a good move on his part, mainly because he's not allowing Tyson to get his punches off as much as he wants to.
We have a Spanish interpreter, and what he tells us went on in Ribalta's corner after that round, during that timeout, was that they told him that Tyson has never been in a fight as tough as this. Now start to pressure him. I don't know if he can pressure him, but I think the corner man who said that is absolutely right.
Yeah, because unlike Tillis or Green, as he mentioned, Ribalta is staying in the fight.
Ribalta has staying power. I mean, no one expects too much from Ribalta.
It's a combination from Ribalta and also a low blow by Ribalta.
The guy has a chin. Ribalta has a good chin, and that's what's been saving him thus far. I think what Mike Tyson will have to do is slow down or either stop Ribalta's, catch him in his tracks, catch him while Ribalta's attempting to throw one of those looping uppercuts.
Oh, no. You wrestle.
And also, like Tyson's corner said, you got to throw more punches. Rather than one punch.
Tyson just missing that uppercut.
All right, break, Ryan. Run him loose. Let him go. Step back. All right, you're wrestling. Let him go. Step back. Let him loose. Watch your head.
All right, Ribalta has taken some very good shots from Mike Tyson. Hasn't let Tyson double up as much as Mike would like to, or as Kevin Rooney in his corner would like him to. That was a good left hand.
Ribalta's fighting back. He's holding his own right now.
I think Tyson is a little frustrated because he hasn't been in a fight like this before, a fight that wasn't an early knockout and in which his opponent continued to really fight back. So we're going to see if Tyson learned anything from his decisions, his previous 10-round decisions, and whether he can sustain it. Harold, how's the fight scored now?
Well, Barry, I've got it 5-1 in favor of Mike Tyson. I gave the 6th round to Jose Ribalta mainly because Mike Tyson didn't throw a lot of punches and Jose did throw some punches and did land some punches. I think Jose's picking up the pace, as you said, a little, and certainly he's getting in some punches, and I think he takes a tremendous rep and he's holding his own.
A very succinct and accurate analysis. And I think now, Ray, people are going to start to ask, is that vaunted punching power of Mike Tyson going to be able to take out the big, tough heavyweights who he hasn't fought yet?
I think so. I think just the style of Ribalta is creating a few problems for Mike Tyson. Maybe it is the height advantage. But Ribalta's been doing the right thing. He's tying his man up. He's not allowing Mike Tyson to get off.
He still is not seen, as Larry mentioned, the bigger heavyweights, the Burbicks at 227 or the Witherspoons at 230 or so. Remember, Ribalta is only 211.
But he's rangy. I think His style creates problems for a guy like Mike Tyson. Tyson also, like his corner once again stated, he has to throw more than one punch. He has worked both hands.
Another thing to mention is that Mike Tyson has never knocked out an opponent after the 6th round, so there's some new territory here for Tyson.
Keep him up. Keep the punches up. Both of them. All right, turn him loose. Turn him loose. Stop pushing behind the head. Keep it clean in there. Let's go. All right, break the train. Turn him loose. Let him go. Step back. Hey, you're holding in there. You're holding. That's right. Okay.
They must have been studying a lot of films on Mike Tyson because he's fighting the right way. Every time Tyson gets close to his chest, tie him up and push his head down.
Well, Luis de Cuba said the only film they watched was the one of Tillis.
All right, break. Let him loose. Let him go. Let him in. Let him back.
And of course, Tyson went 10 rounds with Quick Tillis.
There's some tape that's hanging down what it was on the left glove of Ribalta.
There was a big right hand, and that hurt Ribalta.
Break. Let him go. Let him go. Stop it. Don't hit him on the break.
But again, Ribalta showing a good chin. He was hurt, no question about it.
Get off the tape. Get off it. Get off it. Step back. Nice and clean. Let him go. Let him go. All right, you hold both of them to me.
Tyson went back to his corner like a mournful student who hadn't done his job, didn't know the verbs.
La derecha de Open. La derecha de Open.
Double jabs, Jose. Double jabs, man. You gotta start double jabbing.
Here's Tyson at work on the ropes, and there's that big right hand. But Ribalta came right back. I imagine Tim Witherspoon is out there somewhere, and Mr. Burbick saying, my goodness, how hard does he hit?
Quick exchange to start this, the 8th round.
Come on, nice and clean. Step back. Break the question. Interrupt him. Let him loose. Let him loose. Let him go.
Crowd taking up a chant of Jose.
Break. Get off the back. Get off.
The crowd is fickle, I see.
Well, they're appreciative of what has been a rugged battle on the part of, can't say the challenger because it's not a championship fight, but the decided underdog, Jose Ribalta. And Jose got the worst of that one. The mouthpiece goes, and Tyson is on top of him. Ribalta ties him up.
Step back. Step back.
Ribalta appears to be wearing down now, though.
He's still got a long way to go in this 8th round, halfway. There's a big showing a lot of moxie.
Look at Ribalta's legs. They're shot. There's no spring in his legs. This is all instinct.
Body shot and an uppercut again. Ribalta taking a lot of punishment in this round. And another big right hand. Back to the body.
Let him go. Let him go. Come back.
And still there are 50 seconds remaining in the round.
His mouthpiece has been knocked out, so quite naturally he's looking for a broken jaw here because he's standing straight up too, Barry. There is no spring.
And there's a smashing left hand. And wisely, Tony Battle will send Tyson to a neutral corner. That was very smart on the part of the referee because Ribalta's arms were locked in the ropes. And Tyson has not finished his man off. Ribalta is still there.
An impressive round for Mike Tyson on a number of scores, mainly because he's shown that even late in the fight now he can summon the energy and the fury, which he didn't know he could do before he went 10 rounds a couple of times in the spring.
The most important thing right now, be quiet. Relax. Case it together, relax. Don't be excited, understand? Relax.
Let's take a look at Tyson at work. There's a nice uppercut, followed by a good two-punch combination and two rights. And there goes the mouthpiece all the way down to the casino. Later on in the round, it looked like he knocked something else out of his mouth, and it wasn't a mouthpiece, and I hate to even think about what it was. Most fighters' knockouts against good fighters are by attrition, not by just one big punch somewhere early in a fight. And Tyson has been wearing down a game opponent, and we'll see if he can wear him all the way down.
And Ribalta's going to have to muster some legs from someplace because they're not under him right now.
All right, you hold him. Yeah, turn him loose. Let him go. Nice and clean.
The legs of Ribalta are still not there yet. The spring is left.
Here I am. You're holding and hitting.
His best bet is to continue to do what he's doing now. That's tie his man up.
Oh, another big left hand.
Oh, his legs.
And he's out. He's really out. And just on top of Mike Tyson. And Tony Battle will have to take a long look here.
A right hand just zinged by the chin of Ribalta.
It's only a question of time now.
Let him go. Step back.
Look at the hands. Look at that left hand of Ribalta. Watch for a straight right hand. From Mike Tyson or the uppercut.
And a long way to go here in the 9th round.
That's the right hand, Barry. Again, the left hand of Ribalta is steady dropping. He is still dazed. He's tired. And now that Tyson, all he wants to do is counter.
Tyson's really taking his time here, measuring his shots. Actually walked into the left hand of Ribalta's.
Tyson rushed himself. Got a little anxious for a second there. All he has to do is take his time, give a couple of head feints, and drop that right hand.
Let him go.
He let Ribalta get off the hook.
Tyson getting a little bit careless, it seems, here.
Well, he got a little anxious for a while there, Barry. Just pick his shots. I think he's surprised that Ribalta is still standing because Ribalta was hurt a number of times.
him go, let him go, let him go. Stop punching. Come on, step back.
10 seconds remaining here in the 9th round, and it appears as if Jose Ribalta will survive yet another storm.
Watch your head. That's it. Nice and clean.
The lion doesn't always get the antelope.
Spit that out, spit it out. Vas a matar, pero ¿sabes con qué? Con el upper de derecha aquí, al pecho. Upper de derecha hasta el fondo. Estás nuevo. Tienes que acabar, bro. Uno de los salen los viejos,
That's it.
Come on.
Ready now?
Last round, we touched glove in the center.
Let them quick them spots, man. Just in and out, in and out. Last round, don't let them get brave on you, understand?
We know.
I don't know if this fight makes Ribalta a star in Miami, but he's earned some respect.
No question about it. He's not run. He's not just tried to survive. He's tried to fight the man.
Go ahead. Nice and clean last round. Nice and clean.
He actually caught Tyson with an uppercut. Took 2 punches in return, but he did catch him with an uppercut. Only the 3rd time that Tyson has been asked to go the limit here. Did it against Tillis, did it against Green, but Green ran from him, and Tillis tried to stay out of harm's way pretty much. Jose Ribalta has fought him. Showing its both appreciation and support for Jose Ribalta. Oh, what a shot! And Ribalta's down. He is up, but he is in some trouble.
Oh, he's seriously hurt this time, though.
Hey, how you doing? You want to continue? Yeah. Okay.
So do you want to continue? He said, yeah, hell yeah. That's a fighter. Say that there was no way Ribalta could win the fight, but I think the official was wrong for stopping it. He had come back from those punches before. There's no reason to believe that he couldn't have survived that round.
Well, a tough way to go down to defeat by Jose Ribalta. But once again, he's a case of another fighter who probably made more friends by losing this fight to Mike Tyson than he has in his previous 22 victories.
Well, if anything, Barry, he gained a great deal of respect from the boxing public. I mean, he stood there for 10 rounds with a vicious punch that looked like Mike Tyson.
Let's take another look, Ray, at the end of it all. Big left hand there. That put Ribalta down.
Well, Ribalta held his own. I was surprised and very impressed with the fact that he was able to really deal with the pressure of a Mike Tyson. He clinched, he tied Mike Tyson up, never allowed Mike Tyson to really get off some good, clean punches until the later rounds. Here, Tyson with that aggressive style and working the left hook, he was able to hurt Ribalta a number of times, but Ribalta maintained his composure, very poised, and was able to retaliate with some punches of his own.
And Tony Battle stepping in and saying, that's it, that's enough, after asking him the first time, and Ribalta's reply being, yes, hell yes, I want to go on. There's a look at Jose Ribalta sitting on a stool and just kind of taking it easy here. Long night against a guy like Tyson, whose punches are just so damaging. Overall, your impressions of Mike Tyson tonight, Ray?
Well, I thought Mike Tyson fought a very interesting fight, mainly because of the style of Ribalta. Quite naturally, Ribalta's camp really did their stud homework and saw something that was able to frustrate Mike Tyson. That was to clinch, tie him up, not let him get his punches off, and work on some uppercuts.
So you probably will hear from this man again, Jose Ribalta. Chances are he will get a shot at some of the other heavyweights around. Doesn't really want to see this man around, who looks like he's just had a walk in the park, actually. Let's look at some of the numbers from our punch stat statistics and see if we can give you an idea of how this fight went, at least from a statistical point of view. Tyson, and you would expect the fact that he landed more than twice the punches that Ribalta did. Tyson's always right on top of his man. That's what he did tonight, too. No secrets with Mike Tyson, landing 68% of his punches, and that's pretty effective.
He threw a lot of punches, and especially with the style of Tyson, bobbing and weaving, staying low, it's pretty difficult to land those kind of punches.
And Ribalta just was unable to jab effectively. I can't really say, at least I wouldn't think, that that had a great effect on the outcome of the fight, but 24% effectiveness on the jabs of Ribalta, and 8 out of 10 for Mike Tyson.
Well, they insisted upon Ribalta to throw more left jabs. Ribalta made a mistake of throwing a jab here, a jab there. It would take a lot of jabs to keep Mike Tyson off balance better.
All right, let's get the official decision then from the ring announcer, Marvin Goldberg. Marvin?
The time, 1 minute and 37 seconds of the 10th round. Referee stops the bout, winner by TKO, Mike Tyson. Let's give a big hand for Jose Ribalta. A big hand for Jose Ribalta.
So we have the official cards in front of us here of how this fight would have been scored through 9 rounds. Phil Newman, one of the judges, gave Mike Tyson every round, so Tyson pitched a shutout in his eyes. Rich Strange, the other official, gave Ribalta 2 rounds. He gave him the 5th and he gave him the 7th round, and John Stewart, the 3rd official, gave only the 7th round to Ribalta. So again, Mike Tyson pretty much dominating the fight.
Well, Ribalta pretty much, he didn't do anything in the earlier rounds, whereas that Mike Tyson was able to dominate. The later rounds, 5th, 6th round, that's when you saw a different Ribalta, more aggressive Ribalta. I think Ribalta was able to establish some respect in Mike Tyson.
What do you suppose people like Trevor Berbick or Witherspoon or even Pinklin Thomas, who was here in the audience tonight, have to think about Mike Tyson after watching this performance?
What happens, Barry, they see what particular punch that's been landing frequently against Mike Tyson, the uppercut or whatnot, it's the grabbing, clinching, or the left jab, and they would try to concentrate and work on those areas there.
Was there something for Mike Tyson to learn in a fight like tonight where he had to go 10 tough rounds against the guy that you had to figure he was going to beat easily?
I think this is a good fight for Mike Tyson. Ribalta's not an easy guy to beat. I mean, he's tall, he's rangy, and he's not directly in front of you at all times. He throws punches, has a lot of heart too.
But the simple fact is, Jose Ribalta is not in the class of a Tim Witherspoon or a Trevor Berbick or any of the current champions, Michael Spinks. They're perhaps a notch above him, and he struggled with this guy tonight.
Well, you also have to look at the fact that Ribalta, this is a big opportunity, televised fight, and the fact he was able to rise to the occasion. So there's a few factors there.
Does a big guy, does the fact that he was 6 foot 6 inches tall, not big in terms of weight, 211, but big in terms of height, do you feel have any effect on Tyson?
I believe so, Barry. I think the fact that because Mike Tyson had to actually reach up and get closer to Ribalta, because Ribalta's 6'6", it took away some of the leverage in his punches.
All right, let's get up to Larry Merchant now, who's in the center of the ring at the winner, Mike Tyson. Larry?
Thank you. Congratulations, Mike. This guy was a tougher nut to crack than you thought, I bet.
Very enough. He had his mind concentrating. He was going to fight, and he did well, and I commend him very dearly.
What made him so tough? The fact that he fought back, unlike the other fighters who've taken you this far?
Most definitely, he fought back, and he had the idea in his mind he wasn't going to get knocked out. But as you notice, he was knocked down, but wasn't knocked out, because he had his mind conscious of that.
Well, why, if you knocked him down the 2nd round, the 8th round, why couldn't you finish him?
Well, he was hurt pretty bad, and those are the breaks. I couldn't finish him.
Were you disappointed? I know that Kevin Rooney, your trainer, was saying after about the 5th or 6th round, he's saying, you're stinking out the joint.
Well, he was true. He was telling me that to motivate me. And like I say, these things happen. It happens to everybody.
You feel like a pupil at that point who was flunking and that you had to try to get an A?
Not at all. I had a bad night. These things happen.
Are there too many expectations of you, Mike? Do you think that if you don't, you're in a bind, that if you don't knock him out early, if you knock him out early, everybody says the other guy was a bum. If it goes this far, everybody says you can't hit that hard.
Well, what can I say? This happens.
Are you anxious in this case because of the momentum you've created for yourself in your career to get on to some, quote, name fighters, top fighters, champions, and so on?
Well, most definitely I put a lot of pressure on myself, but what can I say? As I told you before, he was a tough fighter, and you don't knock everybody out. The greatest fighters in the world, I saw them. They won and they lost, and they got stunk out. Robinson got stunk out by the fighter named Faceria, who Johnny Bratton knocked out. And of the various fighters, it wasn't nowhere near the caliber of Robinson.
So you're satisfied the way it came out in the end?
Most definitely.
Okay, thank you, Mike.
Thank you very much.
Now I want to talk to Jimmy Jacobs, who is Mike Tyson's co-manager. Mike, Jimmy, you are Jimmy. Jimmy, first, your assessment of this fight. It looked like an easy fight. It wasn't.
Well, I never thought it was going to be an easy fight, Larry. Actually, I'm not as critical as most of the people will be after this fight. The other fella, as you notice, held and held and held. Actually, I don't think that the scoring, I don't think they'll give Ribalta 1 round.
Well, they did. One official gave him 2 rounds.
Ah.
Okay, now let's go on to this.
Yeah.
What is next? Are you going to enter the HBO Don King Heavyweight Championship Series, or are you going to go another route?
We have had very serious negotiations with the HBO people and Don King. And right now we're going to be meeting with them at the beginning of the week. The negotiations have been very serious, not only on our part, but on their part. So consequently, I imagine the answer would come in the middle of, probably in the middle of the week.
Can you just between you and me, Jim?
Yeah, no one else.
No one else. Are you leaning one way or the other?
Yes, absolutely. We're leaning towards the HBO series of fights. I've always felt that HBO, in unifying the heavyweight championship, is doing the greatest favor in the world for boxing. As a boxing historian, I'm indebted to HBO for doing that.
And we're indebted to you for telling us that, Jimmy. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Let me say this about Mike Tyson. He generally comes into these fights as though he doesn't want to miss the 11 o'clock news. He doesn't want to miss the clips of his knockout at around 11:15 or 11:20 on the sports news. Tonight he was extended a bit, but I think, as we all saw, having seen him against Tillis and Green earlier, that tonight he sustained it, came on in the end, and did his job. As I said at some moment along the way, most fights end as a matter of an attrition, and then later in the fight, after wearing down an opponent, you stop him. Mike Tyson has created this catch-22 for himself. He's created a kind of media whirlwind by his own precocity, and there is a kind of dilemma. Earlier on, Jimmy Jacobs wanted to wait until sometimes early next year, have another 5, 8, or 10 fights, but there's almost no holding Mike Tyson back now. But when and if he does get into this tournament and does fight a Trevor Berbick or a Tim Witherspoon, I think there will still be some doubts about whether he is really ready for that class of competition and whether he is good enough. And that's good. We'll find out what Mike Tyson is made of. And now he'll have to go back and catch the news tomorrow morning. Back to you, Barry and Ray.
Okay, thanks, Larry Murphy.